Hare Krishna. So today we take up the famous Varnasrama College morning walk, which is where Srila Prabhupada goes so much more in detail on what Varnashram College is. And it seems like because the disciples had so many more questions in probably because they processed what Srila Prabhupada was telling them, they were hearing, they were processing, and then today, let's say on March 14th, then they became so many more details we'll hear. So which is very good for us because now we come to know what Srila Prabhupada is talking about in his concept. So we'll start with this morning walk. It's titled also Varnashrama College.
This is another college, Varnashram College.
For the public in general?
Huh?
Yeah, public.
Anyone. Just like engineering college is open for anyone. He must be ready to take up the training. Similarly, with Varnashram College, he must be ready, the student must be ready to take up the training.
Would it be for a particular age group?
Huh?
So yesterday we went through, like a few weeks back, we went through, this is from March 14th, so March 12th. Also, Srila Prabhupada says people will be harassed. Actually, let me bring up, share this. In the summary, which we had done a couple of weeks back, there we understood that Srila Prabhupada is talking about, on March 12th, he was talking about Varnashrama College to train the harassed populace in a proper societal order. That's where he was focusing on. Now today, he starts off there when they're asking, is it open for anyone? He says, yes, meaning anyone in the population. But then today he is going to talk about other populace, especially the children. So let's hear that. So there were two categories of audiences or students which he is talking about.
For a particular age group?
Yes, any education from childhood. Yeah. Education means from childhood. Hare Krishna. Kaumaro acharit pragya dharman bhagavatam. How we are getting so many sannyasis, they should teach. Teaching should be done by the sannyasis. Just like in missionary school, the fathers teaches.
Yeah. How would it be different than Gurukul?
Huh?
How would it differ from Gurukul?
So another very important point Srila Prabhupada is making here, and I actually let me share this properly. So what he's saying is, sannyasi should teach. Now, on the 12th March, we also heard Srila Prabhupada is explaining the distinction between two kinds of devotees in Varnashrama or Varnashrama college ambit. One, he's talking about the advanced devotees who are not formally designated to be in a particular Varnashrama, let's say Brahmana or Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. But they play a role, they would play a role to teach others. So he set the concept there. And then he was talking about, he's also referring to different devotees because they are in guna and karma, then they should be under those designation, and then practicing Vaishnava culture and Varnashrama dharma. Within that role, they gradually come above the modes. So that is his, he's making this kind of a distinction between from wherever you are in your role in a Varnashrama practicing Krishna consciousness to be above the modes where you can take up roles. So now here he's referring to similar point, which is we are getting so many sannyasis, they should teach. Teaching should be done by sannyasis. So, which is the similar point which earlier he's making, that more advanced, hopefully the sannyasis are more advanced, then they can play this role. And he will cover more later on this.
Yes. Gurukul is only for the small children, preliminary, primary. And when the children are grown up, they should be sent to the Varnasrama school or college for further developed training.
So this is actually one question a devotee was asking yesterday, a couple of days back. Now, Varnashrama college, is this also part of the Gurukul system, or is it a new thing which Srila Prabhupada is creating? So it gets a little confusing because he's saying Gurukul here for children preliminary education and then Varnashrama school. When you go through all the instructions in this morning walk and as a compendium, his books, we come to understand actually this system is not new, what Srila Prabhupada is saying. He is kind of modernizing the Gurukul education system to fit and to adjust, adapt it to the current words and current thinking. But the principles remains the same of the Gurukul system of education. The Gurukul is where it's a house of a guru, Gurukula. Gula is the house or a place of ashram or his teachings, Guru's teachings. So Guru, the primary, see there are many aspects of it. There is always a primary school, like Srila Prabhupada is going to further talk about 10 to 12 years of age. And then at around 12 years, there is a Brahmin initiation, the Diksha given to children before the adolescence. At that time, especially the male, in the Vedic system, it is male. Of course, Srila Prabhupada has changed it now. So the child is given a Brahman initiation at 12 years of age, which is actually Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada explains that that is the time when um, they are given the Varna and the Vaishnava education from like in detail at that time. They're assigned, okay, this is now what you are going to be doing in the future. So now you start learning. Now your teaching starts at this age, 10 to 12. So that is all Gurukul system. How it used to happen, where we read many aspects, where we read in Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, that primary education was done by a guru, one guru in maybe in the same village, like Lord Chaitanya. He was from Navdeep town, and it was a Brahminical town. So many Brahmanas and great people were living there. So he didn't need to go to another town or village to learn from a guru. So he was a day scholar. He was staying with his parents and walking to the guru's school and coming back. Of course, later on he started his own primary school too. Now, after that, it is understood, which is also we know in the current understanding, also current practicality, that the school children, the local gurus are not able to teach beyond, generally. There can't be so many teachers who can teach advanced subjects. So the primary education to 10, 12, the character development, the basic education, basic language, maths, societal skills, the basic person is made ready for higher education is done locally, normally. And then for higher education, when it is decided by the teachers, the elders, that this is the person's guna, the ability, this is where one should train, then the person is sent to particular specialized person where one can go and stay. Just like Lord Krishna and Balaram, they were Vaishya category in Vrindavan. They didn't go through that education. They went through that education, which Prabhupada talks about later. Vaishyas, they were doing apprentice with the other Vaishyas, tending cows and agriculture and such. But then when they came to Mathura, the elders decided, Vasudev, especially Bhagavad 10th Krishna book, it's written that because they had not gone through the education, he was very worried. So he sent them to Sandipni Muni, very far away from there. And they lived in the ashram of Sandipni Muni and learned the arts for a Kshatriya. So that was a Varnasrama college, which is described in Krishna book as Gurukul. So Srila Prabhupada didn't come up with this new concept. He just gave it a name, college, Varnasrama college, just so that it is more understood, and because we are used to thinking college and such. That's my understanding.
Should they be taught also some,
Huh?
should there also be teaching in some particular skill or varna? Such as say for example, someone was a kshatriya by inclination or a
No, inclination can be changed also. If one has got little, but we should take little advantage of the inclination. Not that. That is to be decided by the inclination or no inclination. We can. That will be done. That is not very difficult. This is most important item. Because people have been spoiled all over the world by being misguided, so-called leaders. That are Varnasrama college is required. Hare Krishna.
So this particular passage looks a little confusing. Many times I think, oh, what's he saying about? So, but it is a lot of meanings behind it. Why he is going from seemingly one thought to another thought. So underlying the some of the issues which I have understood is, there is this concept of how to understand one's child's inclination at age 10 to 12. That is the Vedic Gurukul system. The God is designed like that by 10 to 12 years of age, if in a normal child and normal parents where traumas and all are not there and those get hidden many times. But apart from that, generally at that time one can understand one's inclination, the children's inclination. But the child may not know all these things. No, I have to be like that. They may say all these things, but the elders later on, he's talking maybe in this or another place. When the elders, the parents, the other relatives, neighbors, even who are elders, and like Lord Chaitanya had so many elders around. Krishna had so many elders. The gopis and Gopal, they were very concerned about Krishna. So like that, the elders, they notice, oh, this is their inclination. Teacher, the primary school teacher, the Gurukul in the village Gurukul. So they understand what is one's inclination. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, inclination can be changed also. That is also true. But he says, but we should take little advantage of the inclination. Now, why all these things he's saying is going from inclination can be changed, but we should take advantage, inclination or no inclination. See, so we come to, there are a few underlying factors in that, historical factors too. One is in the Vedic system, it is fixed, especially by birth. It is not by, it is not given by God, but Srila Prabhupada also says that if suppose someone is born in a Brahmin family, one kind of becomes like that because of the habits, because of um, everyone is talking about that all the time. So one's mind starts thinking like this generally, unless one is very strongly attached to another inclination. Generally, in a culturally, even if there is slight inclination or here or there, one's inclination can be changed. So that's what he is talking about, that it is, inclination can be changed also, but one should take advantage of that inclination. So it is that ideally we should see, oh, children's inclinations are those, so I would train like that. But if it is not possible, there is no teacher like that to train. It is just impractical, or one knows that inclination, but in this world they cannot earn like that. So one has to make some practical decisions. Okay, you have your strong inclination there, so make it as a hobby, but you won't be able to earn. So better do something else which is similar to your modes, but eh, little bit change. We change your inclination towards that by influence, by inspiration, by association. The second aspect is that so that is how the whole caste system came about, because one started thinking, oh, because one is born in a family, generally one is becoming a kshatriya or a brahmana, so it is like that. But it is not, because inclination can change, or inclination is there, one should take advantage, and all these things. The other aspect of it is that in Lord Chaitanya's mission, inclination can be changed by training, which is Bhagavad Gita 14 chapter is all about that. How once it's the three modes of material nature, how one modes can be changed, are changing by chanting of Hare Krishna mantra and Sankirtan so much faster. So person who is very Shudra or mode of passion and ignorance, by chanting one starts lifting up, become more mode of goodness, and one would want to chant, like read more, discuss more, which is not possible once one was in a different mode in a childhood or 10 to 12 years of age. So that's how we don't need to be so much stuck into the inclination because of these two factors. They can be changed. There are all these underlying factors. So these are more nuances, but he's talking we should take advantage of that inclination. So at that particular age, or let's say even somebody comes at 25 years of age, or 12 years of age, or 30 years of age, one should take advantage of it generally. But sometimes it is not practical. Anything somebody wants to comment, add to it? Hare Krishna. Let us continue.
Prabhupada, I'm still not quite clear. In other words, we teach, for example, like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Jaya. Huh?
Actually, sorry, I should have pointed out this also, because people have been spoiled all over the world, being misguided by the so-called leaders. So that I understand why he's saying that, is talking about the current education system, the whole education system. Bhagavatam. Sorry, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master Bhakti Vinod Thakur used to say this is modern education. 150 years back, he was saying this is a slaughterhouse education. slaughterhouse because it is slaughtering one's spiritual inclination. It's making one's more and more materially concretized in the mind that this is what I am supposed to be doing, which is removing God from the thing, and eating, sleeping, mating, defending is the priority of life. So, in that, because when factories are capitalism, factories all requires workers. Uh, bureaucracy is required. So much of office workers are required. So people whose inclination, how many people's inclination is to sit and either on the computer or write or be a bureaucrat. In Varnashrama system, everyone is supposed to be more or less independent. Even the Shudras, the artisans, they are kind of, they make their own, they live together with their husband, wife, they make their own pottery or whatever art or craft or other things, and they sell. Of course, many of them don't do that. They are also working for other people. But the percentage of the population dependent, completely dependent, like a worker, is very less, much less than now, which is like 90% of people or so, maybe less, I don't know the percentage, would be is working for others right now. So this is what he's talking about, that the so-called leaders, they're misguided. Whatever inclinations people have doesn't matter. You have to, the education system trains one like to be working for others. We have seen all the time when young people come, they all mostly they are looking for how much do I get paid? And when I tell them, okay, I can help you get own business going or own activity going, they go, oh my God, no way, I don't want to do that. I'm not training like that. Even if there is maybe inclination, the conceptualization, how to do it on their own is tough.
How much would be expected of the students as far as
Huh?
would they live with us and follow the four principles like that, or just come for classes?
Yes, come to classes you won't get, because nobody has got any taste for such thing. Boarding school, boarding
School.
yeah.
So this is, see, all these details now we are going into, and is very, very interesting. So here also he's talking about a living, a boarding, residential place. And when he's talking about this was like Lord Krishna and Balram also went and lived with Sandipni Muni in his place. Of course, they did it only for 64 days, it seems. And because each day they were learning one art completely. Every day they would completely master one art, and 64 days their learning was finished. But the point is that, see, Hidayananda is making the point that these, when he's saying just come for classes, meaning daily day classes, like the people live there and then they go to college. No, that is the thing which he's asking. He says, no, 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 people won't have this kind of taste, and of course, taste, and also the modes and the consciousness and everything won't be possible like that. So a residential school is what he is recommending, which was also the Gurukul system. But the Gurukul, the primary Gurukul, this is the secondary or the senior Gurukul or Varnashram college. The primary Gurukul can be day school. So this is just play and learning, and it's just like Lord Chaitanya did, walking to the school every day. It's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He would go to school every morning and come back. Uh, So that can be done, but the higher education.
And should there be any material subject matters taught like in group?
Yes, it's like material subject matter. Kshatriya, on the Brahmins, Kshatriya, that's there described in the Bhagavad Gita. What are the symptoms of Brahmin? What is the symptoms of Kshatriya? The Kshatriya should be taught how to fight also. There will be military training. There will be training how to kill. Yes? And Vaishnavas should be trained how to give protection to the cows, how to till the field and grow food. Practical.
But business also?
Huh?
The Vaishyas?
Business, this is rascal business.
No, no.
A business means if you have got extra grains or extra foodstuff, you can sell where there is necessity, there is want. That's business. We are not going to open mills and factories. No. We are not going to that. That is Shudra business. The real business is that you produce enough food grains, as much as possible. And you eat and distribute. That's all. This is business. It does not require any so high technical education. Anyone can till the ground and grow food. Is it difficult? This is business. The first thing is that everyone, man and animal, especially the cows, they must be properly fed, so become very stout and strong. Cows will supply milk and man will work hard without being suffered by dysentery. He must work hard, any capacity. Work as a teacher, or work as a kshatriya, work as a plowman, or work as general assistant. He must work. Everyone should be employed. And his employment will be provided from any of these groups according to his capacity. Either as a Brahmin, or as a Kshatriya, or as a Vaishya, or as a Shudra.
What kind of training is given to a Sudra? What kind of training?
Shudra is general assistant,
Just
order carrier. He has no intelligence. He doesn't require intelligence. Do this, that's all.
What would he learn in the school, though?
Huh?
What would his business be at that Varnashram college?
Yes, that is also training to become obedient. Because people are not obedient. What are these hippies? They are not obedient. So obedience also requires training. If you have no intelligence, if you cannot do anything independently, just be obedient to the other higher three classes. That is Shudra. You must agree to abide by the orders of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. That's all. So that nobody will be unemployed. Everyone should be trained now to sleep 6 to 8 hours and attend meeting, chant, and other things, and balance. He must work hard, not just sleeping unlimitedly. There is no limit. Yes.
What class does the arts and crafts come under?
Huh? Shudra.
Sudra.
They are Shudras. Little arts and crafts can be trained up to the Shudras. They, at the present moment, they have given too much stress on the arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Therefore, the whole people population is Shudra.
Is a fact.
That is the difficulty. All people are being drawn by giving them, I mean to say, attraction for high salary, and they are taking so-called technical education And all of them working in the factory. Nobody is working on the field. And they're Sudras.
Artist is accepted as a philosopher in life.
Huh?
In our society, accept the philosopher.
Artist?
Yeah, the artist.
No, artist is also business of the Sudra.
Yes, but I'm saying in modern society in America, they're considered.
Nonsense. No, what is the meaning of
Yes.
that in your Western countries, the rascals, they're writing philosophy and sex life, which is known by the dog.
Yes. Yes.
And he's writing so many things. So they're rascals. Human being. You see? What is this philosophy? Sex life. Even dog knows how to have sex life. And he's writing philosophy. So this kind of philosophy can be appreciated by the rascals. So we do not appreciate it. They are not philosophers. Philosopher means who is searching out the absolute truth. That is philosophy. That is philosophy. Darshan. Darshan means search out what is the ultimate. Jnani cha bharatarsha. Chaturvidha bhajante mam sukritina arjuna. Artha arthati jnani cha bharatarsha. Artha arthati jigyasu jnani cha bharatarsha. These are philosophers. Even the artha, even a distant person, he is praying to the supreme authority. My God, I am very much hungry. Kindly give me my daily bread. He is also philosopher. Because he is searching out the absolute truth. He is philosopher. Not this fraud rascal. Elaborating how to have sex life. So this kind of philosopher, what is called? In Bengal, Bongai Sial Raja. In the jungle, a jackal becomes a king. So because Western people, they have no, they're all less than Sudras. So hey, pride has become a philosopher. Bongai Sial Raja. In the jungle, the jackal has become a king. That's all. What is knowledge there? The whole Western world is going on for industry, for making money, eat, drink, be merry, wine and all that. They're all less than Sudras and Chandalas. This is the first time attempt is being made to make them human beings. Don't mind, I'm using very strong word. That is the fact.
Yes.
Otherwise they are little animals, they have 4 hands, 2 legs, 2 hand animals. That's all. Yeah. Rejected them. Vedic civilization rejected them, mlechas and javanas. But they can't be reformed. The process is this. Not that because they are rejected, they cannot be reclaimed. They can be reclaimed also. Just like you are being done. Although you are coming from the mlechas and javanas, by training you are becoming more than a Brahmin. But there is no bar for them. Unfortunately, these rascals do not agree to accept. As soon as you say that no more illicit sex, they become angry. As soon as you say there is no meat eating, they become angry. Murkhaya upadesai prakopayana santi. The rascal fools, if you give them good lessons, education, they will be angry. Prakopayana santa. Panam bhujanganam. The snake, if you give him nice milk and banana, the result will be he will increase his poison. Panam bhujanganam. Kevalam vishavad. But Krishna's grace, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, they are being now trained up. Now you be trained up and revise the whole edition of the Western civilization, especially in America. And a new chapter will come in. This is the program. Therefore, Varnasrama school required.
So I wanted to us to hear from Srila Prabhupada the whole this particular concept. A lot, huh? He talks a lot about how he's seeing the society and how the society can be the direction can be changed, at least to us, to people who want to live differently. Of course, he is hoping, everybody hopes that the whole society can change. But we'll hear later on also, he's saying, make a small ideal um, ideal unit, which showing this is how one can live. And then hopefully people will take up to it. Not that we try to impose on them, but by showing an example. So there's a lot to unpack. And if anyone else wants to make a point, please go ahead. And or any questions or anything, we can take that up. Otherwise, I'll go line by line or by concept. So about the material subject matters, he started talking now more detail about what will be actually taught in this Varnasrama college, what subjects, how they should be taught, who will be taught what. And as we go forward, Srila Prabhupada will be explaining so many more details of Kshatriya, Brahmana, Kshatriya. And then I've also tried to pull it from different books and different places where he has told other things, how they should be taught. So he didn't go too much in detail about Brahmanas. And later on, we will see he saying other things, but he went into detail about a little bit about Kshatriya, and he'll go more in detail later. But a few things is that Kshatriya can be taught to fight, to be military training, kill, and we'll unpack it later. But the whole as far as I understand the whole concept around it, why Brahmana Kshatriyas are being trained in such a manner is in 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explained the society when it is in more prominently in mode of passion and ignorance, it has its own a different goal of life, which is the symptoms which we see now, which is make more money, have more power, have more name, fame, and more sex life. It's like all of what the society is like ideal of what success is coming from what a person in mode of passion would think is success is. So Srila Prabhupada, when he is talking about revamping society, or at least a section of society who are hoping to live differently, are for people who want to be godly, who don't want these so many material desires to be fulfilled, because they can see after the material desires are fulfilled, what then? After they are fulfilled, many people, many successful people are so much in anxiety or they have problems in the mind, because what do we do after that? Once you get the name, once you get so much money, what then? More and more and more and more. There is no end to it. And after you get, let's say, $1 million, I got from childhood when I was thinking, oh, I will be a millionaire. Once you get million, then what do? And say, I got 2 million, 5 million. It goes on. There is no satisfaction finally. There is no end to it. You take one sweet, one donut, two donut, three donut, you can't have any more. Or you want, even if the mind wants it more and more, you can't. You just, so the problem with the mode of passion Srila Prabhupada describes in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita many things. One is it is very hard to achieve, very troublesome. This is temporary, it will go away. And also you have to basically try to exploit others to achieve it. Because everybody is also thinking, I also want, so there is a fight all the time. So a mode of passion civilization is what is manifested here. Mode of ignorance too. So many things like mode of ignorance are the four sins, which is no meat, the meat eating, the illicit sex, the gambling, and intoxication. So a mode of ignorance civilization these will be very prominent. So these symptoms also we see. And those are considered very high value in life, except the truth, the little bit, the truthfulness, which is coming from um, uh, compassion comes from not killing animals. Uh, Intoxication gives, if one doesn't do intoxication, one can practice austerity. And if one is doing illicit sex, then one cannot remain clean. And if one is gambling, then one is not uh, able to be truthful. So in this society, that leg is little bit standing, the truthfulness. Other than that, more or less, the society is um, society is more or less driven by the four sins, by which the mode of ignorance is very prominent. So that's the value system. So when Srila Prabhupada is talking about changing the society, it's for those people who want to be devoted, who want a different goals of life, like peacefulness, cleanliness, compassion, higher value of life. What is going to happen at death? Uh, why am I born and die all the time? Why old age come? Why, how can I not find a solution to all the problems? How can I find solution to all the problems of the world where there is so much strife and so much of killing and so much of problems going on all over the world? How? So when one is thinking like that, then for those people there is a separate kind of life, a civilization. A king, a great emperor would, like a Rajarshi, could do it for the whole world. That may happen too in future. But right now, what devotees could do, what Srila Prabhupada was, when he's talking about Varnasrama college, is to train those section of people who want to live separate, differently, in a more mode of goodness thinking. So all the occupations, when he goes through Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, what to train in Varnashrama college is more mode of goodness based occupations. Even if it is military training, there will be a component of goodness in it, which comes out in following the rules of fighting. There are many things we can discuss on this, but Jessica Mataji has a good point. She says that was an excellent explanation. For me, it clarifies the way the Western system does not mold children to follow sensory perceptions, does mold children to follow sensory pleasures. And this inclination becomes the philosophy of life and appears to be good and honest way of life. And appears to be good, honest way of life. Even if we try to change, the collective consciousness is very strong. The mode of ignorance appears to be normal to our children. That's very true. I suppose the community needs to be around them to support them, be the model for them, as well as the entire community. I mean, so well. You are actually, personally experiencing it. And it's definitely true, because eh, at an impressionable age, one sees the value system of everybody like that in a certain manner. Then what would one, even if there is inclination, even if because of good consciousness, good upbringing, good habits and value system given from childhood, still I think, but how can everyone be wrong? And I want to fit in with the society. I feel so alone. So one wants to kind of think, no, I, I also can fit into this. This is right. I want to fit into this. Even if there is a little bit hesitation in the mind, maybe it's not correct for me, or maybe it's not right. That's why, Srila Prabhupada, like you making the point, the community is very important. And later on, we will see in the here or on other places, it will make a small ideal community, show an ideal way of life. So anybody could come and see, oh yeah, like I used to think there are people like that too. I remember when I was growing up, I kind of never went to temples, never went to any religious thing, nothing. I was so anti-God or everything. Then when I was in the US, I came in touch with Krishna consciousness. And I started chanting Hare Krishna mantra and everything. And then I went to India back after a year. And I was amazed to see, like, there are shops. I never noticed that while growing up. There are shops called Krishna, this thing that Krishna, even Krishna meat shop, but Krishna and everyone. I said, oh, many people are having the name Krishna. It's not so problem. Then when I went to Vrindavan, I saw everybody chanting on the beach. I felt so relieved. I thought I'm like an oddity otherwise, like everybody chanting on the beach. So it's like from my own personal experience, I remember that when I first coming to Krishna consciousness. So it's very important to having a community whom one respects. Community by itself doesn't like do anything. It may even, you can't expect the people in the community, respect the people in the community who are in a certain manner and act in a certain manner and chanting. And then people will think, oh my God, I don't want to be chanting when these people are definitely this is not correct. Even if I feel little hesitancy, at least these people don't have these kind of value system. They're honest. We find so many people who are honest, and many times devotees are not honest, unfortunately. So, definitely. Anyone other points? We are almost finishing up, 5 minutes left. Leo Prabhu.
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Little bit we can hear, yeah.
Yes, so the only point I could really um anything taken out of this based upon my assessment is just I was thinking like it's almost like I don't know if it's comparable like a GED program. So example is the GED will basically be the diploma to show proof of basically elementary, middle school, and high school, some type of certification done in a short period of time. Because I don't know how long would the time frame be to achieve that type of completion of Varnashram College. And the other thing I wanted to ask is, would there be like an assessment for each individual, and what maybe some that have been in Krishna consciousness for some time and understand the concepts compared to newly introduced individuals.
So these are very good points. So first is the assessment is definitely we should institute a proper assessment. I've been practicing it. I've been trialing it out with different devotees and to understand, to assess for themselves. Once becomes older, it is, I mean, as a child, of course, the elders can figure out. But when one becomes an adult, um, it has to be done with a combination of elders and well-wishers and themselves. So I have been working on some ways to figure that out. And of course, it's a It's a work in progress, but I can share that with you in the later stages, how to assess oneself, where one is, to discover oneself materially, what is my inclination and what I can really do. Like we talked about vocation turning into occupation. What I would really like to do whole day. When I get up in the morning, I won't be like, oh my God, I have to do this. But it should be like, oh my God, I have to do this. Mind is full with, oh, I can do this. I could have done this thing. That is kind of one's that vocation should become one's occupation where one can earn money too. But we can talk about that assessment. The second part you talked about, what is the duration? Now it's interesting. It's the Vedic education system is not duration bound so much as it is education bound. Meaning, let's say a Brahmana, they can keep studying till 25 years of age. From 12 year to 20, 13 years or so of studies are recommended, and go on more and more. But Krishna studied in 64 days, all of what, all, sorry. So the Kshatriya education is lesser, but they go through the same spiritual education, but not all the Brahminical Ayurveda or so many things they don't go through. The Yagya, all these things. They go through the military art and everything. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is the primary subject for Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. But that they could finish like Abhimanyu, we hear by 16 years of age, he had almost completed his Kshatriya education. And he got married too, because one gets married once the education is complete. Of course, education was not fully complete, but the war came and all these issues must have happened. That's how he couldn't come out of the Chakravyuh. Once he constructed that, and then he couldn't come out and he was killed. But 16 years of age is basically a Kshatriya's education is complete. Vaishya education could be is more of an apprentice, where one, we'll see Srila Prabhupada is talking about all these things. So we'll hear from him but so it's all different duration, and basically the idea is that one should get married as soon as possible after hitting puberty. Because the sex desire becomes so prominent uh, that unless one is controlling one's senses, which a Brahmana and Kshatriya can control, because they have more intelligence and more sense control, more of goodness, so they can stay longer after puberty. I mean, natural inclination after puberty, why God has given is so that one can have sex. So, but one who can really control, then they should desist, so that mind and intelligence can be fixed in learning. Otherwise, one should get married. So Vaishyas and Shudras, they were getting married very early. I don't know how it will be applicable in this world, in this current world. It's very tough. But this was when you're talking about the duration. I can discuss that more, and as Srila Prabhupada will go through these more and more details. Time is up now, but thank you very, very much for nice observations, Mother Jessica. Very good. And Leo, thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
We'll continue next Sunday on this morning walk. Thanks.